ComPDF Conversion SDK 3 is coming soon. The new version brings a complete upgrade to the PDF conversion features, with significant improvements in conversion quality and speed, especially for PDF to Office conversions. Today, we'll compare 3 with our 2 online PDF converter to show how 3 outperforms 2 in layout accuracy and editability. We test different types of documents to analyze the performance of both versions in terms of accuracy of conversion results, text flow, retention rate of structural elements, and other key metrics. In the PDF to Word conversion test, we selected 6 different types of PDF documents, including 2-column, multi-column, mixed text and images, bold text, resumes, and exam papers. We then use Conversion SDK 3 to convert these documents into Word format. While also using the online 2 PDF to Word tool for the same conversions. Then, we will analyze the conversion results for each document type individually. In the 2-column layout document, we selected a larger PDF document for conversion. First, let's look at the results from version 2. It preserved the original 2-column layout well, but some content was misaligned or split across pages. Particularly the positioning of images, which could not be accurately restored. Next, we reviewed the results from version 3. The 2-column layout was retained, and there was no misalignment or page-breaking issues. The images were also well restored. However, it's worth noting that some spacing issues were not fully preserved, and these have been added to our list for future fixes. In those 2-column PDFs with lots of text, the conversion result in version 2 had a problem. Each line was followed by a line break, which meant every single line was treated as its own text box or paragraph. As a result, even making a small change to one line could shift the position of the whole paragraph, making large-scale editing really inconvenient. Created, entire paragraphs can now be accurately recognized. When you edit text, it automatically reflows and adjusts with the layout. All of this makes post-conversion editing much smoother. Now, let's take a look at how image and text mixed PDF files are handled during conversion. In terms of layout retention, both version 2 and 3 do a good job preserving the original structure. However, in 2, you can see that some text boxes overlap with images, which causes layout issues. This has been significantly improved in 3. The overlapping problem is mostly resolved. That said, 3 still isn't perfect when it comes to this type of file. For example, in some irregular text boxes, 3 mistakenly recognizes them as images instead of actual text. As a result, multi-line text gets restored using a fixed layout, meaning each line is treated as a separate paragraph. So when you edit one line, the others aren't affected, which helps with stability but limits layout flexibility. We also noticed that some longer text lines overflow their text boxes, making the content look a bit messy. These issues have already been added to our fix list for future updates. In PDF documents that contain bold text, both version 2 and 3 successfully and accurately preserve the bold formatting. To verify the consistency of structural elements, we tested the conversion using a sample exam paper that includes headings and lists. In the version 2 result, the headers and footers initially appear to be intact. However, once we enter the header-footer editing mode, we find that there's actually nothing editable, meaning these elements were restored as plain text, not true header or footer elements. The same issue applies to list items. In the 2 document, they are still just plain text rather than being recognized as structured list elements. In contrast, version 3 has resolved all of these problems. When we enter the header-footer editing mode, we can clearly see that the headers and footers are editable and properly recognized. Likewise, numbered lists are now visible and active, with the correct formatting applied. This demonstrates that version 3 has made significant improvements in accurately restoring structural elements during conversion. Here we will compare standard and non-standard tables to test the accuracy of PDF-converted Excel. For this test, we selected 2 documents containing standard forms and 3 documents with non-standard forms. As with Word documents, we use both Conversion SDK 3 and the online tool 2 to convert these PDFs into Excel spreadsheets. We then analyzed the results one by one to identify the key improvements and enhancements in PDF to Excel conversion with Conversion SDK 3. When it comes to standard table conversion, both version 2 and 3 perform very well. Text is accurately mapped to the correct cells, and visual elements like background color, borders, and text alignment are largely preserved in the output. However, there are still some differences. In the 2 result, a red background appears on the right side of the table, something that doesn't exist in the original PDF. Meanwhile, 3 fails to retain the original border colors. While these style inconsistencies may not be critical, what's more important is how the data itself is handled. Version 3 correctly recognizes numbers as numeric values, allowing for operations like summation and further analysis. In contrast, 2 treats these values as plain text, which can limit the functionality for data processing tasks. When converting non-standard tables, version 3 delivers a significant improvement over 2. The Excel output from 2 is often cluttered, with misaligned text, inconsistent row heights, and unnecessary empty columns. In comparison, 3 produces cleaner, more structured results. Text is more accurately aligned with the corresponding cells, and the overall format remains neat and well organized throughout. In this section, we mainly look at whether the structural elements such as lists, tables, and directories are preserved in the conversion results, and whether they are fully editable. In the PDF to PowerPoint conversion test, we selected 3 content-rich PDF documents to compare the results between version 2 and 3. As with previous tests, we used both the Conversion SDK 3 demo and our online tool to convert these documents into PowerPoint format and analyze the differences. In the PDF to PowerPoint conversion process, both version 2 and 3 perform well in preserving the overall content and layout. However, there are still some differences when it comes to finer details. For example, in this document, version 2 loses the content from the text box in the top right corner and merges all text into a single block, resulting in the loss of the original structure. In contrast, version 3 retains all content and layout elements in the converted PPT and accurately restores each text box, allowing the text to remain editable and reflowable. From this comparison, you can see how much ComPDF Kit Conversion SDK 3 improves PDF to Office conversions over V2. The new AI-powered hybrid flow plus fixed layout model bridges the gap between perfect visual reproduction and seamless content editing. Want to try 3? Contact us for a demo and experience high-precision PDF conversions yourself.